Alright. Let me stop playing around here. It's Tuesday night, it's Tuesday night. It's about 10:23 at night. I'm supposed to be outside with a telescope looking at the stars, Tuesday night. Hello, viewers. Another beautiful day or night. Yeah. Hope your five senses work, health, and strength is good or excellent. What? Alright. What I got for you Steam Deck fans anyway, the Steam Deck tribe, nation, universe, world, legion. What's good? Mom, what's happening? Squad, what's up? Nerds, geeks, and freaks. And you investigators, what's happening? Alright, what I got for you? On Tuesday night, it's about 10:30 right now. 10:24 that is. Alright, what do I got? Let's see. Oh, Deadlock. Alright, what's going on with Deadlock? Let's see here. Deadlock from Valve may need this quick fix on Linux. Depending on your Linux distribution, you may need a small fix to get Valve's new game Deadlock to work properly. So here's what you need to know. Currently, the game does not have a native Linux version, so you'll need to run it with Proton and run it pretty well. It also invite only, so find a friend somewhere to invite you. And see me, I'll wait for the game to release. I ain't stressing it. I'll wait. It says here, if you find the game crashes when connecting to a server or otherwise, you likely need to raise your vm.max_map_count. So that's quote vm.max_map_count quotes. It says yes. It strikes again. Many Windows game via Wine/Proton needs higher VM max map count than some Linux distributions ship without of the box. So you can find what your currently is with the terminal command. So that's cat/proc/system/vm/max_maps_count. And it says to set it temporarily higher, you can do this in the terminal sudo system ct1 -w vm.max_map_count equals 104.85.76. Says that is the newer default that Ubuntu, Fedora, and Arch Linux were updated with. Previously, many distributions had it quite low at 65.530. And it says for a permanent change, you can edit this etc/system ct1.config file /ct system ctl.d, and those are in quotes, by the way, depending on your distribution. So anyway, alright, and then it says add vm.max.map.count 104.85.76 to the bottom. Alright, Deadlock. What else I got? Resident Evil 2 makes a return to GOG with a lot of improvements. Okay, let's see, what did they improve? Says after releasing the first Resident Evil, GOG have now done the same for Resident Evil 2, getting a load of improvements along the way. They haven't given a date on when Resident Evil 3 will land, other than soon, but that will also come with a similar improvements. And since all of the improvements in this version, full compatibility with Windows 10 and 11, 6 localization of games include English, German, French, Italian, Spanish, Japanese, improved DirectX game render, new render option, Windows mode, vertical synchronization controls, gamma correction, integer scaling, and more. Improved audio volume and panning. Improved cutscene and subtitles. Improved save game manager. Improved game video player. Issue less game exit. Improved game registry settings. Improved keybind settings and audio settings screens. Improved end credits in German in the German version. Fix issues with Room 114 and 15. Missing text, Room 10 invisible diary, and Room 409 looping sounds. says full support for modern controllers: Sony DualSense, DualShock, Xbox Control, Xbox One, Xbox 360, Nintendo Switch, Logitech F-Series, and many more, with option buttons binding regardless of hardware, wireless mode, Fort Survivor, and Tofu modes enabled from the very beginning. Okay. Says since it's a classic Windows game, you need Wine/Proton to play it. Easy enough thanks to the Heroic Game Launcher, which only recently had some big GOG improvements. Don't forget there's also a big GOG sale now on. Yeah. Alright, what else we got? Let's see here. Wii U emulator CMU.2.1 out now with app, image, and Flatpak support for Linux. Wow, this list is big. It says here, after going open source back in mid-2022, the Wii U emulator CMU starts providing experimental build with Linux support. Now it's out proper with the new CMU.2.1 release. Released late yesterday, there's a lot of big improvements in this new release that really advanced the Wii U emulation. This release brings together 93 experimental release since CMU 2.0. They said to think of this like the final experimental update. Basically, they're saying it's now properly ready for everyone to try out. Yeah, let's see what they got. They added app, image, and Flatpak release for Linux, and experimental for Mac OS for x86 only. For now, it can be run on ARMS, Macs through Rosetta emulation, and is used as a graphics backend. Add tool emulation for USB ports for Skylander and Disney Infinity. Add NT tag support. Pokemon Rumble features can now be scanned for files similar to existing Amiibo scanning. Support for titles stored in Wii U Homebrew. Support for connecting Pretendo Network service on Windows is now portable by default. For new installation, all data and config files will be stored in the app data/CMU. This makes Windows installation match other platform existing. Installation will not be affected. And add portable mode by placing directory names portable next to the CMU executable. CMU will then store data and config files in the folder. This works on all platforms. And more updates: add Wayland support for storing MLC game files, sensitive file system, and option to enable game mode. Bright online features par with Windows build. Enable DSU controllers. Yeah, they put a lot of work into this. Games can now access HID from the host via libUSB Skylander portal. Many changes to improve the robustness of Linux build. Add debug option to create dump on crash. Improve diagnostic login in case crashes or other exceptions. CMU is now also shipped with symbols so that stack trace now function names. The CPU and memory status is overlaid now work on Linux. The background color of the game list now matches the brightness of the window theme instead of always using bright colors. Fix an issue where closing the gamepad window will freeze. A bug where gamepad will not render anything with OpenGL. An issue where user interface dialog will cause CMU to crash after closing. Many small user interface issues to WX widget, WX GTK backend. Yeah, they put a lot of work into this. And then it says more on the site. Release note is on GitHub, and you can download via FlatHub. So yeah, they put a lot of work into this one. So yeah, the emulation community is good. All right, what do we got? Say Lord of the Rings Return to Moria arrives on Steam with Steam Deck support. All right. So you can available to buy on Steam. All right. You guys are good. Lord of the Rings Return to Moria arrives on Steam with Steam Deck support. Yeah. And you can buy it now on Steam. Yeah. So yeah, Steam Deck got a lot of games to play, man. You guys are spoiled. Now what else I got? What's this? Cozy Mining Adventure Core Keeper 1.0 is officially out now. Okay. And you can buy it on Steam while GOG only have the Windows version. Core Keepers. Yeah, 1.0. Yeah. Alright. Let me go through this list. See what else we got. Okay. See, Never from the Gris Dev looks gorgeous. It's a Steam Deck verified release October 15th. Yeah. You Steam Deck fans, you're spoiled. You can follow it on Steam. It says see, Nomada Studio are back after releasing Gris in 2018 to overwhelming positive reviews. Their next game is Neva, and it looks gorgeous. It says you'll need to use Proton to play it, but some good news right away. It's already Steam Deck verified ahead of the newly revealed October 15 release date. So that means it will be ready to go on normal desktop Linux too. Check, yeah. Yeah, you Steam Deck fans are spoiled, man. Anyway, let's see what else we got. Judiro is a strikingly odd-looking stop-motion style action adventure. And let's see, set to arrive on September 16th. Judiro is just something you'll have to see. An action-adventure game inspired by rich folks' history of the Scottish border, but it's really the style and animation that's really something. And then it says, as the developer explained, it's made from handcrafted objects, bespoke figurines, animated in the stop-motion tradition. For them, they said the art style invokes something nostalgic in parts, but perhaps a little creepy too. And with real life models, then renders into a 3D world, it gives a real unique flavor to it, while also giving it some flair like real-time lighting, shaders, and post-processing effects, while the cutscene used traditional stop-motion animation techniques and much are more cinematic. And then it says, features fast and fluid combat, strike and dodge your way through myriads of foes, culminating in exciting, unique boss challenge. Process enemies take on the form of lesser creatures to greatly expand your abilities. Use these enhanced minions in combat to solve puzzles. A rich text system discover worlds in Judiro through balancing dialogue and pitchy aphoristic NPCs. Mini games. Through your adventure, you will encounter a number of diverse mini games with different mechanics, visual styles. Mini game also vary the pace of the game, and also, and allow us to explore other narrative tangent. Reward exploration. There are many secrets to discoveries to find as you roam through the world of Judiro. From collectibles and pick up a whole optional storyline and more. Yeah, it's available on Steam, and it appears it will have native Linux support. Yeah, like I said before, you guys got plenty of games to play. Yeah, plenty. Okay, what do we have here? See, Black Myth Wukong shows very early. Valve are selling a lot of Steam Decks. Yeah, it says Black Myth. Wow. Let's see here. Valve don't exactly like to give out sales numbers, so we often have to take an educated guess. But sometimes with a huge hit like Black Myth Wukong, it gives us a slight clearer idea on how the Steam Deck is actually selling. And then it says, for a while I've been tracking the top sellers list on Steam to see where the Steam Deck ranks. It's important for us, especially that it does well. So it's a Linux device, Steam OS, flowing out into the hands of the public in a mass of improvements. There's benefit Linux gaming as a whole, from drivers improvement to Proton upgrades. The thing is, the top seller lists on Steam go by revenue, not units sold. The Steam Deck costs in comparison a lot more compared to today's games, so naturally it will rank quite high anyway most of the time. But here's where the fun begins. Black Myth Wukong is a huge hit, a truly massive seller. According to the official X Twitter account, by August 23rd it had hit already 10 million sales across all platforms. Right now, another 4 days later, both VG Insight and Gamealytic put somewhere around 14 million sold just on Steam. So it says, when you look at the global top seller list Steam right now, removing free to play titles, so just those you have to play, just those you have to pay for, you end up with Black Myth Wukong, Steam Deck, Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. It says all three of those games will be selling a lot, and the cheapest of them, Black Myth Wukong, is $49.99. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine, for example, is currently the second most wishlisted game on Steam, while also being top seller on pre-order. So this shows pretty well in no uncertain terms that the Steam Deck from Valve is also clearly selling a lot of units too, right? Probably quite a few more than a lot of people thought, like even more than I thought recently too. Keep in mind that November last year, Valve said the Steam Deck had sold multiple millions. Perhaps no surprise then when we see developers get their games on Steam Deck verified well ahead of release, like upcoming Dragon Age, the Veilguard. So then, how about Fortnite on Linux/Steam Deck? Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney said when it hits tens of millions of users, that's it. Would actually make sense to support it. We must be pretty close by now, right? Why ignore a platform that sold multiple millions and is clearly just continuing to fly off the shelves? But another thing, this also goes to show that Valve are likely in no rush at all on a Steam Deck 2. They simply don't need to do one right now. Also shows why Valve continues to roll out new Steam Deck features on Steam, like the little review filter, a most played game chart, and why there's no rush to get Steam OS on other devices. Yeah, the Steam Deck is no joke. That's all I can say. Anyway, what else we got? Okay, let's see. Battlefield 1 gets EA anti-cheat in September. Will be left broken on Steam Deck Linux. Anyway, that's EA for you. It says here we go again. EA are about to completely break another game on the Steam Deck and Linux, desktop Linux, and this time it's Battlefield 1, originally released back in 2016. It still sees some pretty good player numbers on Steam, hitting a concurrent player peak of 15,117 in the last 24 hours. In an official new post, which was recently updated, it's now stated that Battlefield is set to get kernel mode anti-cheat and anti-tamper solution, EA anti-cheat in September. This follows on from Battlefield 2042, Battlefield 5, EA Sports WRC, Plants vs. Zombie Garden Warfare, that all adds it after release. It also in their EA Sports FC with its original first rollout in FIFA 23 and has since expanded to include the other. The big problem is EA don't support Linux platform at all with EA anti-cheat, and so games using it won't work at all on Steam Deck or desktop Linux. It says EA also recently did a separate post on August 22nd talking about EA anti-cheat, noting it has prevented nearly 5 million attempts and counting to cheat in EA anti-cheat protect games, and they made it clear they plan to add EA anti-cheat into more titles across Fiasco Year 25, the 2025 financial year. What this does is just highlights a problem with buying multiplayer games that aren't explicitly said to be supported on your platform. Proton is incredible. It does enable tens of thousands of games to run on Steam Deck and desktop Linux. But in time like this, EA can just write it off without a bother. How? Well, it's not EA selling it to you saying it supported to run their Windows game via Proton. It's also worth noting that Valve updated Battlefield 1 Steam Deck rating from playable to unsupported 5 days ago. Still, no refunds will come from those who are outside the normal Steam refund policies, even if your primary way to play is Linux-based platform, and that stings to just have a broken game. At this point, it's probably only a matter of time until Apex Legend gets anti-cheat. That one will really be a big issue since it's one of the most played games on Steam. It's an interesting contrast with BioWare Dragon Age: The Veilguard that EA published, which is Steam Deck verified ahead of release, with the developer repeatedly mentioning it, but hey, it's not a multiplayer game. That's EA for you. They need to grow up. Alright, now, what else we got? One more. Whoa! Anyway, says here, Microsoft donates Mono projects to Wine team. Well, this isn't surprising, isn't it? Microsoft are handing over the Mono projects to Wine developers with a thank you note. What is it? Mono is a software platform designed to allow developers to easily create a cross-platform application. It's an open source implementation of Microsoft NetFrame based on ECMA standard for C and the Common Language Runtime. Posted on Mono's website along with GitHub posts, Microsoft Jets Warts announced the Mono project has been an important part of the net ecosystem since it was launched in 2001. Microsoft became the steward of the Mono project when it acquired Xamarin in 2016. Then it says the last major release of the Mono project was in July 2019, with minor patches released since that time. The last patch release was February 2024. We are happy to announce that the Wine HQ organization will be taken over as the stewards of the Mono project upstream at wine-mono/mono GitLab winehq.org. Source code in existing Mono and other repos will remain available, although repos may be archived. Binaries will remain available for up to 4 years. Microsoft maintains a modern fork of Mono runtime in the .NET runtime repo and has been progressively moving workloads to that fork. That work is now complete, and we recommend that active Mono users and maintainers of Mono-based apps frameworks migrate to .NET, which includes works from this fork. We want to recognize that Mono project was the first .NET implementation on Android, iOS, Linux, and other operating systems. The Mono project was a trailblazer for the .NET platform across many operating systems. It helped make cross-platform .NET a reality and enable .NET in many new places, and we appreciate the work of those who came before us. Thank you all at the Mono. Thank you all thank you to all the Mono developers. Not only have Microsoft done a seemingly pretty good thing here, their acknowledgement of the Wine team and their work is also really nice to see. Microsoft. Alright, what else we got? I think that's it. So yeah, so I got you Steam Deck fan covered. That's all the news I got to report. So you Steam Deck fans are good. Now EA, on the other hand, they need to grow up, man, because you can't leave a platform out, and you can't leave a platform out, especially in this video game market. You know, you wanna have every platform covered. You know, when it comes to video games. You know, so you know, it'll benefit you in the long run. You know, you already see what Microsoft is doing when it comes to their games. They put some of their games on PlayStation. They put it on PC. Nintendo. I think the Nintendo Switch is gonna have Sea of Thieves. You know, because they signed a 10-year contract with Microsoft. So we'll see what pans from that. So in today's video game climate, you know, you can't be playing favorites. You know, so if EA keeps going down this path, it's not gonna look good for them if they keep missing out on the Steam. You know, because that's where most PC players play. So yeah. But other than that, man, you Steam Deck fans, you're good. You got plenty of games to play. And updates are like this, rolling in on any given hour, any given day. So yeah, gotta keep you guys up to date. And so tomorrow I'll come back at this and see whether the news pops up, you know, in the gaming world. So yeah. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars Dark Flag, Borg Dark Section. Go. Peace.